Okay. My next guest is a multi-Grammy award-winning frontman for Green Day, whose latest album is 21st Century Breakdown and whose American Idiot opens on Broadway April 20th. Billie Joe Armstrong is right over here. Hey. Great pleasure to have you on.
Thank you.
I got to tell you right off the bat, I really wanted to have you on because I am a huge fan of your last two albums, especially. The last one, 21st Century Breakdown, I play all the time. My favorite album of last year. And I was expecting eyeliner. I'm a little disappointed.
No. No, I left it in my purse, I guess.
And I know a lot of people will say, especially of the younger generation, that, you know, you started out as punk rock, and some of this is not punk rock. And somehow that's bad, but I would say, but the music is better.
Yeah, I mean, well, thank you.
I like every album, the succeeding album, more than the one before, which I would think is a good thing.
Well, we strive to be better every single album. I mean, I think we try to challenge ourselves even more, and we drive ourselves crazy in the process of doing it. And I think, you know, I mean, I think it always starts with punk rock for us, just because it's kind of part of our DNA as a band, and then it just ends up kind of going in different directions. And but
you don't care about the purists.
No, I don't know. I don't think there's really any such thing. It's gone into so many different subgenres and or whatever. What punk is, or, you know, it goes to emo, to hardcore, to wherever else.
But Broadway is a far piece.
It's a big one.
I mean, to do a musical, I think of Ethel Merman,
right?
Tommy Tune, Mr. Stephen Sondheim.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's Sid Vicious.
No, but I think there's a lot of, you know, daring people that are doing new things on Broadway right now. I mean, I just saw a play called Next to Normal, and it's a guy that did the music who's doing it for American Idiot. His name is Tom Kitt, and it's about, you know, people going crazy and about prescription drug use, and, you know, and I think that's anytime. I think the thing about Broadway, I think it relates to what a current situation is. The thing about, you know, like something like West Side Story, it's about, you know, the Jets and the whatever
Sharks.
The Sharks, which was, you know, it was about
gangs who danced.
Yeah. But,
with
you know,
knives.
Yeah, well, there's not much of that. We have sex and drugs and.
Is it all music from American Idiot, or is there some from 21st Century?
Some from 21st Century.
Because that sounds more like music to me that might fit into a Broadway play, because it's even more melodic.
Yeah, I think there's certain things. I mean, we use a song called "Know Your Enemy."
Love that one. We play it here. It's in my tape when the audience comes in that I made.
Oh,
Love
cool.
That.
Thank you.
Don't you know your enemy?
Da-da.
But some of it, I mean, like, there are songs like, one of my favorites is a song called Last Night on Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Is that in the...
That's in the play, yeah, that's also in the play.
I mean, that's just a gorgeous ballad. That would have been a hit in any era.
Thank
60s,
you.
70s, 80s, any decade.
Oh, thank you.
But it's very far from punk.
Yeah, I mean, I just try to be a good songwriter, and, you know, and that song was, you know, just a bit of a serenade, and, you know.
But at the beginning, it was more pure punk, and then it became pop punk, and now you're on Broadway. Where in 20 years, is it going to be the Neil Diamond Theater? I'm just asking.
No, I'm just up for anything. I love big, crazy ideas, you know, and Michael Mayer is directing it. He had a good, crazy idea, and we did the show in Berkeley, the Berkeley Rep Theater, and it ended up doing really well there, which is a tough crowd, Berkeley, you know. And then they extended it, and then, you know, we never said Broadway. That was the main thing. It's like, do not say Broadway, because there's a lot of people that want to go immediately there. I think some of the most creative people I've met are, you know, around the Broadway scene right now.
I don't want to...
We're not selling records anymore, so we might as well, you know, go Broadway.
I mean, the man has got to eat, ladies and gentlemen. The line, I don't want to be an American Idiot, is what starts off the album.
Yeah.
And I like that line because it sets it up immediately as maybe you're part of the problem. You're not saying, oh, you idiots.
Right.
it sounds to me like you're worried that you might be one of the American idiots.
Mm-hmm. I don't really know where it started from or really where it came from. It was just one of those things. I think I heard some Lynyrd Skynyrd song that said something about I'm proud to be a redneck or something like that, and I'm like, well, that's one side of it, you know.
You're talking about Okie from Muskogee?
I'm not sure.
There was a song, I'm proud to be an Okie from Muskogee.
Yeah, and my mother happens to be an Okie from Muskogee, you know.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, I mean, she's a Southern lady, you know.
But you say, maybe I'm a part of faggot America.
Right.
And I noticed you didn't get any shit for that.
No, I didn't, no.
Or, you know, Eminem got shit when he used that word, lots of people, but you just slid.
I use the word, I use harsh language a lot just to sort of prove a point. It's like to use the English language against itself in a lot of ways, you know. So I don't know, I mean, it's like growing up and being, you know, getting into punk rock or, you know, or whatever when I was a kid, there was a lot of closed-minded people that would call you faggot or call you whatever. And I used to think of it as like I wanted to provoke people and wanted to get that kind of attention or whatever, so I use it as more of an empowering word.
You say, maybe I'm the faggot America, I'm not part of the redneck agenda.
Right.
Those are not our only two choices, I'm hoping.
No. Well, yeah, I mean, and there's a lot of...
You say that in an endearing way, like, we're not rednecks, we're the faggots, we're the good people.
Yeah. Well, you know, well...
We believe in health care and kindness to animals and the environment, all the thing the pussy Democrats like.
Yeah. You know, I probably should have used not the significant other America or something like that.
Let me ask you about the name of your group, because everybody in a band always changes the name. I mean, you mentioned the Beatles. They were Johnny and the Moondogs. They were the Silver Beatles. You were other names, and then you became Green Day, which I always thought, maybe it's an urban myth, that it was about pot.
It was absolutely about pot.
All right.
Yeah. I mean, I think we were trying to be like the Cheech and Chong of punk rock for a while, you know. I mean, it was like, you know, and some of us still are the Cheech and Chong of punk rock in a lot of ways, so, yeah.
It seems like in the liner notes where they thank you on albums, maybe they should put pot in there. You know, it's like making better music since 1963. I mean, I've said unabashedly that, you know, I owe a lot of the good ideas I've ever had in my life to pot. I mean, I'm sure that, you know, and I mean, not to, you know, get the hippies too excited. I'm sure...
No, I don't think that marijuana has ever been exclusively a hippie drug or anything like that. I think is
yeah, cops do it.
Yeah, I mean, no, but I mean, one of the hardest things about quitting marijuana at the time, you know, one, I had children, and it was like there was these little people that looked like me that were around, so being high was like, you know, but there was always new ways of smoking it all the time. It was like, hey, try a gravity bong, or, you know, or try, you know, this thing with a motor on it that comes out of here. And I'm like, well, I haven't tried that yet.
Well, I got to hang out with you more. What is a gravity bong? I've never heard of it.
You've never had a gravity bong hit before?
Is that where you're upside down?
No, it's like you take like a 2-liter bottle and you fill this you fill this bucket up full of water, and then you put a bowl at the top of it, and then you so you have this, you stand up like this, and then you light it, and then you push down, and then entire 2-liter bottle or whatever gallon thing you want, it goes down and it fills up with smoke, and then you bring it back up, or oh no, it goes the other way around. It goes back up, and then you push down, and it shoots it straight into your lungs, and then you're completely fucked for a week.
All right, now let me explain to you snorkeling. The guy puts his balls on your eyes and his... Okay. Well, I haven't heard of that. I mean, I thought the biggest innovation in pot smoking was the vaporizer. I thought that to me was a much bigger change because you didn't have to burn the substance. it was vaporized.
I like burning the substance. It smells good. It fills the room.
Yeah.
You know, you vaporize it. You're kind of like it's one more reason to hide the fact that it's something that should be legal. So, yeah.
But it's not about legal. It's for your lungs. It's not, instead of burning something that's bad for you. You know, burning that's got to be harder on your lungs. This is just vaporizing it.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about weed like the entire time.
Let me get back to the. Let's get back to the music here. When I listen to your early stuff, you know, you were young, and so the music reflected the values of a younger person. It's a lot more about you. There's a little more whining. It's a lot more about weed and masturbation. And then the recent albums, it's like, oh, somebody who's older, who's now thinking about the outside world more. Somebody who cares, you know. And I know you worked for Obama, or at least you tried to get him elected. But you know, punk, like, remember Anarchy in the UK? You know, anarchy. I mean, that's the exact opposite of that, getting involved.
Well, I thought when George Bush was creating this war and his war on terror, I thought there would be a lot more anarchy that was going to happen. It seemed like I think that was part of the frustration that I had when going into writing songs. And I remember there was the time period where radio stations were banning songs from being played anymore after 9/11, and I had one song or two songs that are on there were on that list, and you know, I think Rage Against the Machine, every song they ever wrote was on that list, you know. But it was and it was frightening to me that, and it was just so accepted. Like people were like, well, you just, you know, you just have to let it go and not have an opinion about it right now because we're a country in mourning. And I was like, well, I think we should be a country in questioning everything, you know, and especially as a songwriter, that's what I wanted to get at. And you know, we've always been active in things. It didn't necessarily come across in our music, but you know, whether it was working with, you know, organizations like Food Not Bombs or whatever, it's just, or doing certain benefits. But it really, around 2004, it really started coming across in the music a lot more.
And what do you think about what's going on economically? I know you certainly weren't raised with a silver spoon in your mouth. The fact that the middle class is sort of being decimated in this country, I know you invoke working class hero in your record. I mean, that must come from the John Lennon record, right?
It definitely does. I think it's become, because, you know, when he says something, you know, a working class hero is something to be, you know, I never made it as a working class hero. To me, it reflects something like, you know, in my line, it's like, are we the first generation that are worse off than our parents? You know, so it's and it's like, and it's not just middle class; it is working class people. There's this whole, I think, middle group of people that are. It's disappearing. It's frightening because you know, you see it, the rich people getting the benefits and the poor people getting the shaft. You know, and then the middle, they're not even being represented at all.
You have kids who are teenagers now?
Yeah, I got a 15-year-old and 11-year-old.
And what's it like to have you as the father? I mean, that's got to be something, a bragging right for a kid. I mean, you're still so cool and relevant even to the younger generation.
Not to him, not to them.
Come on, really?
No, they're cool. Like, you know, my oldest son is getting into punk, and he's in a band, and that's really cool. You know, it's, you know, I remember when he was first born, I was thinking, you know, maybe we should play more Grateful Dead around the house just so he would rebel against it or something, you know. But he was no, but he's a good guy. He's, you know, and you know, I've been married to the same lady for, you know, 15 years, and
the band's been with you for 23, right?
21 to 23. I can't. You know, you stop. You want us to keep.
I'm just saying
we hit the drinking age, you know,
right?
So
I'm just saying you're not a man who has trouble with commitment.
No. No, you know,
you stick with the band, you stick with the wife, you stick with your snotty kids who should know that you're better.
Yeah.
These kids need a slap if they don't understand how cool their father is.
Yeah, well, they're getting kind of big now, so They hit back, you know.
Last question. I notice on these two albums I keep referring to, there's a lot of talk about religion.
Mm-hmm. One of your favorite subjects.
It is.
Yeah.
So I just tell me, you know, that's the artistic way to look at it. I mean, some of it is metaphorical. How would you characterize your feelings about the subject just in a setting like this?
Well, you know, it's, you know, we have a song called East Jesus Nowhere that's on the new record, and it's, and I have a lot of, I have a kind of a fetish for the Bible a little bit. It's, you know, songs like Jesus of Suburbia, and Saint Jimmy, and it's kind of one of those things. It's like it's just to question everything, and oh God, brain fart again. But like, you know, but I mean, you have to question religion. I mean, you know, it's like.
Were you raised religiously?
I was raised with the fear of God. And so I wasn't necessarily in it, and I think that's something that's ingrained into us. It's beaten into us as a society that we fear God, and I think that's just the, you know. So you're accepting of the story. You're accepting of the talking snake and the burning bush and the, you know, and you're. It's like, you know, so. You know, so it's like, which are just stories, you know, and it's supposed to, and basically it was about, I think it was about law and order and trying to keep people subservient, you know.
Still is.
Yeah, and it's, you know, and it just, we do this thing on stage where we, you know, we do the evangelical, like saving people on stage while this like big fiery ball comes up after, you know, which like, you know, evangelists, I mean, they're like rock stars now. I mean, they act like better rock stars than we do, you know.
They play mega churches, which are basically stadiums.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I mean, they're gigantic. So, and it's just basically calling out and just saying that, you know, that religion is a bunch of bullshit, and it's.
That's what I wanted to hear from you.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Bill. I look forward to your next one. Good luck with the Broadway play musical. That's our show. I want to thank my guests, Chris Rock, Alice Waters, Billie Joe Armstrong. Remember, we'll be back live next Friday, so join us then. Good night, folks. Thank you.